na 20 na 74 na 74 so etua ne pechi brekrona no Joe's Bread and Pastries one so etai echire biama medima for Herbal Center Dr. Tamuda so de bre eto yade so etimi etu ase ama sompa chede so etimi abone kutupa no dia obetie bie wo mu ene se panyi bi ye bamrani mu a wabin ewo mu wade nsem atudwa efa dum so enso ho nsem a efri break akra ni amanfo bi ekire se wo hwe na wanya ewo miamia ahodo no sanso so ena ye kase panyi pa bi enso e de atudwa se yenhwe na yentimi ema emranim adwuma no emu entimi enna ho na emu die no entimu enwie mu ensem krone mu no wobetie bie wo mu ene se executive director Edema Media Foundation for West Africa wano so akasa ede afa 2024 abato no mo abeboa ewo ye democrat no eho ensem esuo yabesan ewremu ewo ensem foforo mu na yakọ ene Ghana Police Service wonom ede dwumaso bi ama ensem ahodo a wonom so ahia nsentwerefo ama wode ato yedim no yebe pensempensemu ne ebubum krokro ede akireo yebetwa suo ede ye ne akiremu ewo ama ahodo so ene se okopie mu ewo Guinea wonom abato ho nsem no sene esi akowie no emu nsem anope ye de ba bedawo na kai nation se SOMPA 106.5 FM Accra ensem no etwa for hase no no esai edi adencheche ebumfumpa edi afa asante mantemu eya SOMPA 93.1 FM ayiko 100.9 so ebutu asante mantemu na SOMPA 90.7 kranzan woti enkan wo ho eya 106.1 FM techima na wuti ene a frequency na wodi ato ho sanso ena doma SOMPA 101.3 FM takwa 480 yen ewo SOMPA 101.1 afe takra de SOMPA 103.3 FM ena afe Kingdom 106.1 FM so ewo eye mankesim decoder no so no eye SOMPA FM obetimi ahia yen ewo abefo enwoma no enu Facebook no eye SOMPA 106.5 FM Accra YouTube no eye SOMPA FM Live www.sompaonline.com samno yabubu ni nyina da bede makosa ni mu na jewo de efa efri wo na bibia so etimi akoye adamfo pa radio so ewo France Paris wo to nsemi apeti amadehia wo so wo achichini pincheye ewo France memo wonsa etimi aka ensemi ebi mwankasa mu nuamade nyina OHENEYERE mame ekuya yeboa esia mabronya brewatia ena nope me ne mo edi ehye yenhwe na ensem no yentimi emonwre mu na sede enema esitie no yemfa ema mosesia aseda enko ema wo bibiala nso a anope wagebre ene adaje na utie dwumadie na eno eye kase no
SOMPA FM
ewie yenhwe na monwra ensem no emuna ye hyasia na ye hyasie ede efi lawyer ya wono kro ya eba policy anase hyehyɛ ho nsensem a waben akodale wo mu lawyer lom nuku alija wono so ede ensem atudwa ekyerese wo hwɛ ebra na dumso no ewo my Ghana mu hase no mu no a na eyade a eha adwen na etete abrabɔ na ema edwuma nyina da ato asaram esanse wo hwɛ nyinam kane ho ensem na yade a etimi boa o my Ghana ema bibia so etimi ekɔ nanim eye na wo kyerese ebra Ghana mampanyi ebaye watimi aboa amane Ghana hase num dunso ne nyina no ene eto ntwa krampo na eto etimi anase eso etimi ate ama sabre ya yekase no bibiada etimi ekoso ye yentie ensem ahodo bi a wode etato ye ba de aka kire no ye de asomso.
Absolutely, most of the time now. Of course, there are occasional, periods where the lights go off and so on, but it's not in the era of what we call doomsday, which is where you have like consistent power outages for sometimes days, weeks, months, and that obviously results in, for example, a load shedding timetable and all of that, where challenge or the deficits with having the lights on is so persistent that it now goes beyond a regular period. Of course, in the distribution networks, there are challenges sometimes just with equipment and so on. So there are times when the lights do go off, but it is not in that frame as we know. Generally speaking, I'll say that this year has been good for the energy sector, both in terms of power and also oil and gas. Generally, also that has impacted tariffs, and as we know, the elements that go into computation of tariffs is because the forex is one of the big ones, as well as petroleum prices and the world markets and so on. So generally, it's been good in terms of assessing this current government and what it has done. I'll say that we haven't had any major disruptions in the energy sector in this year, even though obviously there's always room for improvement.
Ghana man penny John Dramani Mahama Betne just sway a catoni brona a fepepe penny and no home and penny foa one abe aquadale ashe ewa a memo who share any bomono a bidi wa drink tre by ya lawyer ya was sign a infrastructure policy expert a lawyer lom nuku alija or no so then diabase so far so good se bankania hun semua bra yera John Dramani Mahama wa betna ejaso no na ye kwa ensem fofrobo na eye afidida yankane sase Ghana man penny John Dramani Mahama wa betna ejaso no sania amanfobi esi hu na memo no emprempren ya yekase ya wabedi afe ewo edwano so no enam sayo so ama yera kwadwo Youngson wono so de kwakwabo ekọ ede amagana fo nyina se ewiaso ho no de wofru duapa ene ya ye piano na se wonni bibi ya wode bebo wase abaso a ye ntwa ye ho ensan kwabo de kro no wo hwebra yera John Dramani Mahama betna apanwa nasa konwa yiso ya eyade a watoto niema papa ama ene ye kase no bibia etimi akoso ye ama Ghana fo edide wose eba kontebo mapa wonom ede niema atokwan mu ya wo hwe asiesie ni titru abatuo mu basabasa ye pinchen ya enam so ede atututuo ba ye ebe kunkunkuma wudie nyina da epie mu no wo kyeresa wade kwakwabo aba ho na ni nyina mu no so no aboa ayire yankasa ne ye democracy anase kadmamenka biamemo no mu ye na wose sa wode toto emfie bi atwam ene braye John Dramani ba ye dia wono de obeka se Ghana fo ye hwe na ye ntimi huro no emo na baso esanse de waye no waye bi esene aban bi a atwam.
He'd been president before, he'd done it for 4 years. He wasn't new to it. He had 8 years to lay his plans of how to come and do better. So for me, his accountability should have begun from day one. No honeymoon. But he came along and actually fulfilled some of the promises he made. That makes a pleasant change. From day one, the lights were going to go on. He fixed it. Good for him. The lights have stayed on all year. Congratulations to him for that. And you see, these things ought to be normal. After what we've just been through, it becomes like super achievement. John Mahama's first year started with that, all the pomp and promise of that inauguration ceremony, because we had been traumatized.
Ebusia nipa wakasa ye eye panyi bia wono so waben eba amemo ho ensem ho a yewura Kwadwo Youngson ena yekọ ekotie no na yentoa ensem no so na yempem enko yenimudi a na yehwe na yetimi aboawremu ewo yewura Suremana eye Brima wono ene panyi kwankyerɛ for executive director Edema Media Foundation for West Africa wono so edensem to dwa ekyerɛ sɛ Wosha 2024 abato ya eba so no a etimi aboa papa ama enne nyina etimi akoye ya bibia nso egina ne nan so na empempi na no wono de aban no na wobebo na baso pa esanse wohwe niema wode atoto akwan mu a watimi aba ama niema nso etimi awie mu die abusua ensem no pi na woka eso wese so yenhwe na yentie bimra se ne wosikan ye efa amamu ne ho no.
2025 was certainly a momentous year for our country. I think in terms of governance, we had, to be frank with you, gotten to a point where the country was on the brink. And many say that one wonders what would have happened if the MPP had won the last elections. And I think certainly that it wasn't going to be good for our democracy, because we had gotten to a point where almost everything was down. The economy was down, confidence in people had gotten down, expectations, the situation had become so hard for many people. In terms of the trust for our governance system was down. So we were at a point where many were even contemplating what could happen. Would we go down the path of other countries if these things were to continue? And indeed, even before then, we had engagements with some government entities about whether or not there could be possibilities of a coup d'etat in this country.
Enipa wakasa ye penyi kwankyerɛ for ya Media Foundation for West Africa wotua ano ye Sulemana nano disem no wamano ampem wa wɔkyerɛ sɛ wohwe John Dramani Mahama sremu se jata gonje ne te kronkron ya woti jata wo so prince we de wo betina adwaso yi wo bone homode pa ama enema ekoye ama your democracy no emu etimi ayire no wasenya no nkwada wo hwe esika semu asidi ne sade nei esi enya anantuo agina so no a wo se abasobo enu nti no ne ayaka nyina na se panyine esi ne se Ghana fo nyina da yentai na chi efise ye hwe na se yesomu bia ebetimi aboa ama ne tirimu popa ya wowo edema Ghana yensiesie ene yenyina so ewo mpontuo mu no etimi akoso basahariso.
And if you recall, at some point when the city was so much misbehaving, the president himself at the time had to make a public appeal to our military not to think about intervening. And President Mahama, former President Mahama, then candidate Mahama, had to make the same appeal. So I would say that at least in the interest of stability, continuity of our fourth republic and all of that, what happened by way of the 2024 elections perhaps got us at least to be stable as a country. And the results, I think, spoke for itself in terms of the outcome.
Ebusia na chese senia empanyinfo ya wonom so aben eba memu hu nsemu a wonom esi ekire wo madwen ewo ye Rajon Dramani Mahama mampanyin na afi ya akabese enanan na watimi ede ewo eye amemu adwaso no ebi de e na yekọ ekotie ye na yewremu ewo ensemfofro mu en na senior presidential staffer Rosemond Obin enso ede ensem atudwa ekire se Edipa Pidua no ena mpempen ya yekase no wonum ejina akono ewo emrenim ewo Attorney General Yera Dominic Ayeni wono so na kachi ni nyina ne se sikasem ya wonum ama Ghana eto ate etibi ama akofa won kasa wonsem ama oman no etibi aboka no wo kire se eho ensem ne ya bonefosem ya wode kwadubo kese ayantam wonum a wo kire se ni nyina no MPP amanyoko no panyipa ya na wono otua ano se fragbella no wakire se eyade a ne ho ebon mu bie na asem no yempese ye beje na yetimi ehuredi kente no Mami Rosemond Obin yenkonkotie ne techrema no sane wosiwi sansem no esi efaye.
I was just send some advice and caution to the people who are victims in this whole thing, who may be facing jail sentence. I would tell them to speak up. I'm saying that because some of them, I think even almost all of them, all the people who are being tried were associated one way or the other with a potential flag bearer of the MPP. They were actually dining, whining. When you even go to their Facebook pages of all the people we mentioned, from Buffer Stock to the likes of Wontumi, NSS, Gifty, Duboahen, NSB, you realize that there's a particular connection. It's a puzzle for Ghanaians to unravel, and I know they understand what I'm talking about. Who the potential flag bearer is. They were associated with a particular potential flag bearer in the MPP. They wine, dine with him, and I can even say that the proceeds of their crime or whatever they are being alleged of taking, some went to the flag bearer. So it's important they speak up, because the person is nurturing an ambition to be president, running around, touring the whole country with monies that are supposed to be retrieved. And so it's better they speak up. Perhaps they could, lessen their sentence, or it could do something to them.
Na chere se wo munyina ka ho bisa na wo pese wo chere Mami Rosemond presidential staffer na wo chere se wo hwe MPP Frankatufo edema wonom ewo eya afie twam no a na ese ne ekọ so abonefo semfa sikasam ho nyina da no wonom nyina na na awie ene yensa wo nyina na awie didi a wonom nyina na edi ntine basa ma wo mu nhwe na wo munyi ba akopọ mu nyina amra mu bi meka se ya yemfonso na ne ye dom bekọ afiase a na dabon prechi na no yaban no etimi ateso ede ama wonom yekọ ensemfoforo mu no Ghana Police Service wonom so ene ensentrefo etimi ede enhyiamudie kese ama wonom so enema ahodo bi a wofise wode eba ebetimi aboa ma yenso yetimi ehunu mu bi na yebo ho dewura yetimi ehu ba bi ede befa no wonom etimi asini people ede akere na Director General ede ma eye Criminal Investigation Department CID no ewa Ghana Police Service mu no eye COP Lydia Yakodonko wono so ene ensentrefo kasa ye no ena wo kire se wo hwe Ghana Police Patrol Team no a wonom ni CID fo no eto kese eka mankyere mu ede wo ho egumu se be ya Inspector General of Police wono ankasa so ne hye ya wode hye wo se wo hwe Sebeya ni titru akra hasenum ne tema eniema ahodo ya ne afe ne kwa wie ya bonefofo wonom efa bronya ho ewekra kase na wonom edin samone nkofo kwa 31st night no na wonom so efe kire elutu wo muniema no wo bonhu konta senia eniema ekosi ye no sei ene wo senify.
Now, the Ghana Police Service has arrested a suspect in connection with unlawful daylight robbery at Adabraka. A significant breakthrough has been made in that case. The police have arrested a suspect in connection with a daylight robbery attack on a jewelry shop at Adabraka, where an amount of 7.5 million Ghana cedis, which was proceeds from a gold transaction, was being conveyed to the bank and was stolen from the owners. After months of intelligence operations, suspect Salim Mohammed, also known as Fawata, was arrested on 20th November 2025 at a hospital in Ashaman where he had sought medical attention. Preliminary investigations revealed that the suspect and his accomplices, armed with AK-47 assault rifles, intercepted the victim's vehicle, fired multiple shots to disperse onlookers, and injured the driver before fleeing with the cash. Efforts are, however, underway to arrest the remaining accomplices and recover the stolen money.
Na COP Yadoko anase Yako Donko ne semu nchiremu ya no wode ma bonefo semu ekọ so ya manfo so de ho complain be da wonom no anamoto mapaya wonom etu ene mfaso de sene esi akono ene nkofo a wo masi akyeche wonom ene mu nchiremu wode ma ye no ena woto aso akire se nipa bi nso wo ho a na wo bo wo ho samlane adwuma bi wo ho a wono akasa no wonim de wonim hui ede fa ho nanso no no afa ho atade ede ahye no wode bo apo etieti amanfo fa ho de ho nsem so ena wo ba be kire se nipa ba ko bi krampo no ekwaye ne ho se wo yesrani ya yese fake soldier ibi ama wonsa eka no eno so no sania emu hwehwemudie ene ho mra no wo hyehye no wode tudwa ekire se.
Now, the Ghana Police has arrested a suspect in connection with unlawful impersonation of a soldier. In a separate intelligence-led operation, a suspect who had been posing as a soldier while operating in parts of Ashalaja in the Greater Accra region, in Ashanti, Bekwai, and Chebi in the Eastern region, has been arrested. The suspect was found dressed in full military camouflage attire at the time of arrest. A search on him revealed 2 foreign unregistered pistols, 1 live 9mm ammunition, 2 live AK-47 ammunitions, 1 military camouflage bag, 1 bayonet, and 1 Huawei Gota set, and a pair of handcuffs with serial number 46446. Preliminary investigations indicate that the suspect used the impersonation to facilitate criminal activities and intimidate members of the public. The suspect is currently in custody as investigations continue to identify accomplices and sources of the weapons.
Enyo baako fo na nanane abrewa na kyese wo mo hwemu a enye nipa baako ena abonefo sem bi wo ho a wokodi yenti no wonom sa kan sa nipa wese nemu a wo hwe aye hwehwemu ene nipa ko a wonom so etekire eka wonom ho ema wonom ye dom a wotimi ekodi abonefo sem no watimi ama wonsa asompa echi we Director General ya CID adwumako wo Ghana Police mu no wotua ano COP Lydia Donko ena yetie no ensemi nyina no yama ne bofo nana oponchecheku ena eboaboa no ya wode ebre yen afe yenhuri na yemfa enyina mu ewo epoye mantamo na eho ena kane no epoye mantam titireni edema NDC amanyoko ne Yera Bismarck Boaten wono so atrese esemia edwa eto ewa de hifia adehye nyina ebopini na wonom epre no wono so aye na adwen so obehwe na se empanyimfo yom wa amanyoko ni mo no wonom ebie nomination nyame ya adomu a afi anase afie we anase de anim no a wobehwe no ono so akwa di brebi ewomu na ka kum ye gene kwako enum yenti Yera Bismarck ensembia wode tuja
March economy registration was June July constituency August conference in November national swap in December yeah asetra eniwo mu wo amano semu ono so den krata abeto na ene 31st April 2026 asem tia ye mama on se yami adom na me wa hoden na hoden no wo a party eduma ye wie minim Yera John mama na hoden yesusudie ahobrase fie mo twe ode kotre fie resua bibia ndi na nya won wase enne no wo hoi na meka se ebie nomination in Sumaba, a Cassan and one in the first history. You're a Lawrence, or you could do for. The one who said your man could, you know, somebody, and I just see the democracy. Now, era, John Romani, Mamma, but I'm say reset Ghana. I'm paying no baby and no buy good board or bar, the petrol. There's a contract film about to tell you, who say, the Ghana for pay, and as I saw you, and they can. Yes, me buy, better if you know, party, and you may be a new, I mean, you go training, you go be. Yedimiko Kumasi conference duration year Kosovo year election. Baby, I'm a nomination. The Mohaba bar for the Amasa contest. Into my talk, we contest in operation come back. I reset is in with time said. To make you know, did be obey the answer about the one not to us only in the better if you say this one that I get to fast. Me, this material watching. Africa 2026. Say a registration exercise in Humber Gym, constituency election in Humber Gym. Our copy regional election and make contest, in the end, so about one national.
Na chese titinani edwa no obehwe na watimi asan abe premium we say eye appointment mo NDC kani titinani edema won yera Bismarck Teria Boatin na yete nenka no na ansa na aboata tia obetwe so ne ya na enambaba so ti ko sa aboa kraman esi pata so anipa na adom no ednesi so ntino kase yi na na kwadwe se campaign limited ko beje se sempremo bema na dawo ma danse ho ne mapa na wode API na etimi dru aboboa no bebi bia da wo ene anopei eba enado papa ya wode hama boso enkoa de agina brane na ebetimi asoso niema mu yedi ama wo plywood ahodo anase bia wo pe building materials no ebiti se wires ne bi cement anase bia iron rods roofing sheet and chance no papa ne bi ebuti secha e wona na kwadwo company limited na kache na wase yen kanche o se ne nkrabata ne de wato aheta e wo memo afa na nyina da ba bia wo Ghana nchodo ne ntrada so no wonsa ebeka no na bibia nso etimi akoye ediamao na yeboni dia na chese ye mo enfede esanse na kwadwo company limited ya ade a wono ankasa na basobode ya waje no enye asem ketwa enu ntinefo ani kire mu wonkran na kumase bebi biada opesa woni ne to kese wo ye contractor na asem ye kokwo mu ye nsafo anase aban mu nkofo na bia mo pese oboa mo e wo madanse ho ne ma ho a enu ane se wo 0204 355 040 0204 355 040 na kwadwo company limited mpanyufo etimi ajewo so neba yade nko ade a medimafo heba center Dr. Tamudaso wose wode no aye stroke andwe yade ibi aka wato wode no afa nifa ne obenkum ana sesen na enema esitie usisi na ye wo yawoje ho a enje waposo esiche yade diabetes ne ebia ba beso ye wo so prostrate ana se bia koma yade osa ho nyalewa hodo wose fa kire mu en ewo akra hase no poku ase mayira ne kwaje ayasa wose yade kranko bia da no wone wo eto kese wone wo eto chia na eba wo ho krampo de ma ne mema no wose wone wo beto nchia na ono akase obediw ama wankase wo say yes enyi se ne betom wie ansa empo na waje ono ankasa no ade ya wode eto so enu nti no ene no emonkomo doctor ewo 0244 774-282 0244-774-282 and 0500-727215 0500-727215 na wanje so na kumasi na kira kwan no ewo eye ebuakwa agogo wane government school no na edi enhwe ni wode brebe to yade so Dr. Tamudaso Midimafo Herbal Center na ye kanfo de amawo Joe's Bread and Pastries esi yen kan kire mu a monso moton dokno nyina kan dokno no kenke no se enne samokwa akoto ja na maba beso ano na nwisie bekomomu ede nyalewa hodo abre wo sawa ene wakoma na wo brebo ne de wasiti ntontan ne waba beboa ama sabre ni nyina da no eto etimi atwa enkonko hankofo bebom dokno mame beka ma yi mame me mole mame ansampo na bia waba be ya ohyeto ne ade sebre enu ntini waje dokno ne yo no ede abonebo wodi ane se obeya ohyeto na omako na wache wo nkyenam na wodi akosi abonten 3 Ghana cedis pe dokno mu anu wade ma wodi opebia no fakoje na wonso eje wo mfaso efagu botom bia ya wo ye dokno SOMPA FM na 3 Ghana cedis de me si eka no na wase baby bia da wo no so no eno ane se wo frɛ no de betoa na bibia so atimi akwa wo ye anase dwumedie bi awadegi abedinto anase bibia etesa na opese oba na obre odokore no ane se wo fra homen 0256 068832 0256 068832 Jones Bakery dome commercial bank no ekire ho pe na onso onsa beka nti ya no akohwehwe no na bibia etimi akoye ye didi na ye num ide eda ne anyalewa no ebi besan atoa so na mpempi na no panyisi bambo atirema wowe no eyesene ayaresa bokitima 2074 anaso betimi atwanitia akane T74 ye nananom di do awodo ya akane no ane emuchia so anopenka wo soro ye hyehye wafa okuru wa anase obonsu ya kapo no akwasa ma wabo wade pinti wona wo kro no eba ne sa nyalewa hodo ne to kwanta ma paiseta enunti na 2074 mpanyifo ede abase nya binom na entimi mua wo ebebo ho ban ama won so atimi agina brane ewo yade anim hye nkomo no kubu ama won ho ayeden basa nyalewa bi te se HIV hepatitis anase nkuda hodo ya yekonankoro obla sugar na betimi regulate na ma ne nkosoro anase nyalewa hodo biada etwada bia ye na ba obachi makro mu hawa hodo enne bia wonum nka hodo ni nyina no 2074 ne nyalewa hodo no etimi eboa ema esi ano kwan etimi boa etu ase na etimi aboa nso etimi abo ho ban ede efri wonu nti da bia la da no wo hia bi na wetimi abobo no abusua nyina da okay she drug lane afi kumasi ashtan ko na keba enne miamia hodo nyina da no wonsa betimi akambi wo 0246 073498 ana 0501 628931 na empanyimfo enewo etimi atwetwe enkomo SOMPA achede no enrada na SOMPA stations ahodo ni nada no wo mo etimi ede hyehyɛ so enkra ha se nom SOMPA 106.5 FM ye de na efe papa na eno no enwieye eyade a enyankafo ahodo no efiefie ahodo no eyade empanyimfo ebebo awuram wo hontene ye kwaso akai wo se ne awo bia no betimi de aba beboa eyesika afemu a number way and a wasa wode efa so 0598 459 802 0598 459 802 na edi ebeba no eyeta 1 media na se blessed for star betimi asa e de afa we so 0241 272 990 0241 272 990 blessed foster na 1 media na ebeba area de shiman yenhwe na yentwa ye hotel emra ye ba ye bewremo ewo amanone ensemo
Endpoint homeopathic clinic. Say a prostate na baby omutibi ye screening ema hu ni ye etu ase a na e endpoint homeopathic clinic anase e kidney e liver problem wo fa baby e na adjujo na de fa ne premature ejaculation no a ba ma bi a wo ne wodofo akwakwahia ase wo di ne ho agro ase wo to nte ene ye bra endpoint homeopathic clinic na ye moa wo e ma ne mema mo pa wo e ye endpoint homeopathic clinic wo mo damu fua yare bi a infections bi ne wo ho anase bi a wo hwa wo fa baby na adjujo kidney problem prostate de e ye endpoint homeopathic clinic kuma se ubehu endpoint homeopathic clinic ewo kronoma bohia ena akra hanso so de wo mo gina mu ankasa ewo spintex bebre friend share signboard no huduro na ubusasa wo pe endpoint homeopathic clinic a obi a ebekiro for endpoint ewo 0244867068 ena 0274234321 endpoint homeopathic clinic a wo mo demu fu
ewra me pacho bra na me hwa de wo bag
bra aden ena so biem
Tom heba me hye ya me ka se yi ba kwin ani wayi me yensen
bra sanya time heba me hya esia gyemi ni me fiefo enya de abaako ebeso yen
we de wudi se ofa ni nyina
time heba herbal mixture make us me di one dance ya heaven and de me kwa akopie enti se malaria we draw ne time herbal mixture
enye enunku de nanum ato a wontimi anidie no time herbal mixture duro no na yema wo oba a wafa afuro de wo ma akwada nofo ene akwada a woni mfie dumienu entimi num aduro yi bi se obeto aduro yi bi anoma hwe se wakọ hospital anase lab am yehu se wo atridie malaria yi bi ansa se o time herbal mixture enu dudu atu a fo ani kire KNG Herbal Center ewo Emrom Abidjan House ana ba akoso wo atonsu Monaco Junction
eno echi obenya bi atowo over the counter medicine sellers any herbal shop dodo na emu
Fre 0244 417669
Kayo set time no TIME time herbal mixture afi malaria fever bi adani ziba ewo munu betu akọ
FDA agi adwadie nkratoa yi atum
SOMPA TV Emma Aketuapa.
Emma Aketuapa mpa de shemaima yenhwe na yenwo ensem nyina ti kɔ na yemmo ne kom se gyen na yemfa entu apɔ na yewremu ewo gini eman ne mu na efipi mienu ene aduonu baako na wo mampanyi afakonde ena na eti adwa so manam so General Mamadi Damboya ya ade a wono so kyerɛ sɛ panyi wabɔ akora na bibifo mpanyimfo to da bia ya na adede ye wonda dodo waso akoda homigye mu na mrantie ne tibiba de wo mogya ewo mu no mabunu mogya ne betimi ye adwuma bo oman no na wonom agye adwa de akanta so matumidie no etimi atidi won tirim nte no obefa ku ekwan so etu panyi ya no wanya mfinhia aduo wotwe miensa 83-year-old president Alpha Conde efredwa so na wobetena adwa so ne mfinhia na ye na General Mamadi akɔ abato so no oman mu ne nyina da ema ekowie ekyire no oman no ekyire se free mienu ne aduonu baako 2021 ya woba ya obeto ato a enema ewo oman ne mu no ade a wo mani esopa nte no wonom asan ato ne so esanse amfo na kyire ne nto aso wo moto aba ne wie ye no na wanya ohama bupen no aduowatwe nsia na kyiripo aduoso mienu 86.72% ena onyaye na eno ena wo kyerɛ sɛ wabai wo hwɛ na enipa hodo ya wo ba ye no obeye no watimi ato aso mamu ne nyina so ede etirin kwansɛm etimi ede ama no wei ene kakra ya gini so no efiri ho ba ye dane akyire ede ama mo awie abusia ahasenom ena nana kodwogye company limited ko beje sisempre bema anopa no nsia brem kase ye de besom wo ewo SOMPA 106.5 from Accra ema no eto hyeta ye ewo SOMPA fidi ahodo so ene ada affiliate stations ewo omaiga na ene amanone no ye de ne nyina da esie na ye na enwumaku ahodo nso anopei wonom so ebo ye chidom SOMPA chede medimafo eba center afa Joe's bread and pastries nso ye da wonom ase 20 na 74 no so eboa ye ena ogolona nkasa na kodwogye company limited medi do OHENEYERE ma me akua yeboa esia mabronya ma me na eye me bratoni ase papa Facebook YouTube no enyina da wono ena edeme efefa so na me na me brapam dada so ase ono so ehye kyerɛ ho a wo boaboa enema ede amam yakra mu nyina da